Hello and welcome to Perspectives. My name is Jeff Brenner and I am your host. How do you feel about communicating with public service workers who don't speak English? Panel member Shalina chose this topic.
So, the topic now is learn English if you're going to live in America.
That's a touchy subject.
That's a touchy
Oh yeah, I got a lot to
touchy,
say.
right?
You know, I mean, do you know how frustrating it is to have to go through the drive-through to McDonald's to order a burger and need a doggone translator? Jesus, I want a Big Mac of fry. God forbid you go off script. You say, let me ask you a question. So you guys have any specials today? Like, we didn't go over that. I don't
So
know
you're
if
asking Jack in the Box drive-thru if they got specials?
In
Like
other
they got
words,
a
what I'm
fish of the
saying,
day?
if I don't pick something that they went over, that's on the script, now it's frustrating. I think that there ought to be a fine for any company that hires someone who can't speak proper English.
Well, do you know that there was an employer somewhere I just heard recently who he got fined because he tried to require English speaking among his employees, not just amongst themselves, but to their customers. So legally, an employer cannot even require English speaking.
I thought if you were in a private industry, you could hire whoever you wanted to.
You can hire whoever you want, but you don't necessarily have the right to require that they speak English, even though that is, according to the Bureau of Citizenship and Immigration, a requirement that you be able to speak and write basic English. And I think a cheeseburger and fries is kind of, basic. Or the whole menu at the drive-thru should be basic, right?
And I also think that, Shalina, you're expecting a whole lot from a minimum wage employee, other than what to go by the written script. I mean, because I speak to people on the phone in customer service positions all the time who have no accent at all, but if you ask them something that's slightly different than what they're used to saying, you get some stock answer and they just sort of freeze up and go, that does not compute when,
that's
when
what
you tell
I'm
them.
saying.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying the accent.
Yeah.
It's just if you vary off script, oh, now we have a problem. But I don't think it's too much. You say I'm asking for a lot, even though minimum wage. Listen, when I was 15 working at McDonald's, I knew English.
Right. But it's very annoying to me whether it's someone not speaking English or an accent that's too difficult to understand. If you're going to be in a customer service related position, only people should be hired that can communicate effectively with the public.
And why do you guys think that we're allowing this in our country, allowing people to be serving us that can't communicate with us? I mean, why, Shalina, do you think we're allowing this to go on?
I think there's two reasons. Number one is because the employer is only concerned about how much it's going to cost them to employ this person. I just think that we're too lax. And I'm not saying don't let people come. It's not an immigration thing for me. You know, I welcome everyone, but we speak English in our country. You cannot go to Italy and get an attitude because they don't understand you. They're going to say, ma'am, we speak Italian here. They're going to say it in Italian.
Well, you're right. They don't pander to Americans. In fact, if an American goes and requires English, we're called the ugly American. So it really comes back to why in America are we doing this? There's a guy running a campaign ad in Alabama. I think his name is Tim James for governor. And he's talking about in the state of Alabama, we are offering the driver's license application in 12 languages. We can't just blame the employer. We got to start blaming ourselves. I mean, this is like Finnick the Boobery. You know what I mean? That we're allowing this to go on in our country.
Right. No, I think that's ridiculous. I mean, it's gone too far with signs in 20 different languages and everything like that. I mean, the official language of the country is English. So, there's another issue with, we also need to make more programs available so if people want to learn English, they can do it because it's not easy to learn another language. I understand that. But at the same time, we can't hire people that we can't understand.
But then that doesn't make sense to what the law is. It says in order for you to come here, you already have to know English. So why would I need a program to teach you what you're supposed to already know?
Well, because you're not going to know the second you walk in the country.
The law doesn't say, the law doesn't say you're required to come here. You're required if you're going to become a naturalized citizen. You can come here and visit as a tourist or whatever and even come here and live here. You can get a green card, but to become a citizen, you must be able to read and write basic English. So how in Alabama, why are we giving DMV applications? Obviously, there must be citizens to get a driver's license in other languages. It's because we're pandering to all these other languages.
We're contradicting our own laws.
Right. I mean, when Italians came here, they kept Mama's, sauce recipe, but they learned English to become citizens.
Yes.
And in fact, they value the American culture. So little by little, part of the problem too is that we're allowing our culture, that great American experience, to kind of be taken away.
And that's very important because there's a big difference. I remember my grandparents came here not speaking English, but they were so thrilled to get away from the country they were in that they did the best they could immediately to learn the language.
Yes.
Now what's happening is these people who are leaving are coming, and they all came destitute. The people that are coming here now, a good deal of them come with money, and they're very proud, and they don't want to give up their heritage. And that's why when you walk through certain areas, there's no signs in English, and no one is speaking English.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, they don't want to learn
Yeah,
it.
and then that's a different story from people who come here, like maybe from Mexico or places, or
That's
some places where they
different.
don't have a lot of money, but they're coming here to work, taking jobs that we don't want to do.
But
And those
shouldn't the
people learn
requirement to
English.
speak
It
English
should
be
be
the
for
same
any
wherever
applicant,
anybody
yeah,
comes from?
no matter.
You just can't control it.
They need to learn English.
I am agreeing with you.
Doesn't sound like it.
You're missing my point.
Your point is all over the place.
Gotta tell you what's on